What up, spiritual family, and welcome to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry Institute, where I'm your host, Brother Mongoose, or Brother Minister Mongoose, and where this ministry is specifically brought up, raised up in a time such as these for the sole purpose of encouraging, for nourishing, for helping to replenish, restore, and just love on the clean-hearted human beings that remain left on this planet. We all know, if we're hand-on-heart honest, that most people are not, in fact, clean-hearted human beings. We know that. And if you aren't familiar with how I'm using that term, clean-hearted, please watch a video that's titled Clean-Hearted Described or Identified. Pardon me. That's right here on this YouTube channel. Because it's not about somebody who's perfect. It's not about somebody who's gotten it all together, who hasn't ever made a mistake. It's not about people who aren't struggling. It's not about people who are being good in the way that society has told us that we should be good. Now, you can be good in those ways, but that's not what determines it. When we say clean-hearted here on this Ministry Institute, we're talking about just good old-fashioned, what the old times would say, just a good person. A person that's committed to love and truth and honesty and integrity and growth and evolution and kindness and faith and wisdom and courage and boldness and humbleness and all these different things in a very organic way. That's what we mean. We all know what it means to be a good person. We all know what it means to be a clean-hearted person. This ministry has been raised up for the clean-hearted. Having said that, there's a premium emphasis, don't miss this, there's a premium emphasis placed on those who are amongst the clean-hearted and those who are hurting. Those that the good book would refer to as the have-nots. Those who are sick, those are homeless, those that have been excommunicated by society, those who just are misfits, they just don't fit in, those who have, or maybe right now today, are committing things like crime. Maybe there's some drug addiction, alcohol and nicotine addiction. Maybe there's some people that's out there that's just struggling to stop being a racist, stop being a thug, stop cheating on their spouse, struggling to lose weight. And in the midst of it all, even though they may be struggling with those things right now, today, they have not surrendered to those things. They're still fighting. You're still fighting to overcome, to endure, to persevere, to navigate, and to ultimately triumph and transcend those things by His grace. A special emphasis is placed on you guys. Now, if you're going through any kind of difficulties such as those, or you've been through those kinds of difficulties and you find yourself standing in life like, okay, what's next? Welcome home. This ministry is here for you. There's a video that I encourage you guys to watch. It's titled My Testimony and Disclosure. Please follow that up by watching a separate video that's titled My Deliverance. This gives you guys a good example of what it means to live an integrated life, which is what this ministry is all about, a holistic approach to health and wellness, a holistic mind, body, and spirit approach to health and wellness, merged, balanced, and synthesized with integrated living. We'll talk about some services that are provided to help you in this regards. But if you watch those two videos, that's going to give you a good example of what it means. We all know what it means, but if you're looking for some motivation, some encouragement, a courtesy reminder, whatnot, please watch those two separate videos. Not only does it give you a good example of what it means to live or walk an integrated path in life, it also is a courtesy reminder that this thing that we call God is still on the throne. He's still performing miracles. It's not just some ancient figure in ancient religious teachings. No, he's still real. He changes not. If he did it for me, he'll do it for anyone out there. And the fact that you haven't surrendered to your struggles, to your trials, to your tribulations, even though you may get up each and every single day, and they may metaphorically smack you right back to the ground. You overate again. The doctor report still wasn't good. You picked up the bottle, the cigarettes. You committed a crime. But you don't stop fighting. You don't say, well, I've been trying. I guess I'm just going to always be a criminal. I'm going to always be overweight. Well, the doctor said it's over, so that means it's over. No, he gets to have the last word. The fact that you're still fighting is a blatant reminder to you. That's a different kind of metaphorical punch in the face by this thing that we call God. Constantly remind you that, look at you. You haven't quit. You haven't given up. You haven't surrendered. That means you have a clean heart. This ministry is here for you, man. Definitely reach out if there's anything that this ministry can do to help you. Please also give back to the ministry. Help this ministry become available to even more people so that this ministry can help even more people. All people that have a clean heart, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, sex preference, challenges, mistakes, financial standings, political views, whatever. If you got a clean heart, this ministry is here for you. And if you got a clean heart and you're suffering some of these more, what we would consider to be blatant or profound sufferings, this ministry puts a premium emphasis on you. So thank you guys for tuning in. I love all of you guys. I respect all of you guys. And I want to encourage you guys to keep fighting the good fight. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. And I'm not making light of it. If you watch the video titled My Testimony and Disclosure, you'll see that I'm in no position to judge anyone. I'm in no position to make light of anything anybody else is going through. I can relate. So keep fighting a good fight. Keep pushing on in faith. Reach out to this ministry. There's all kinds of services that this ministry institute provides to assist you in your journey, assist you with realizing your power. Realizing your power. Taking the time out to say, hey, you fighting, you wrestling with a grizzly bear in life. Whether it's drug addiction, whether it's crime, just being a better person all around, whether it's your finances, medical issues, you're wrestling with a grizzly bear. And you've been wrestling for oh so long, and the grizzly bear has bitten you, have shredded your shoulders and took chunks and bites out of your back and pawed you across the face. And look who's still fighting, though. Look who's still fighting. Look how many others that grizzly bear has wiped out. Look how many have surrendered to that grizzly bear. You're still fighting. You have what it takes. Realize your power and become renewed by realizing your power and patting yourself on the back by the way of this thing that we call God and saying, man, I really do have the power because I'm fighting a grizzly bear and it ain't been easy, but I'm still fighting. What an enormous amount of power you really do have. Realize that power. Conversely, this ministry is also here to help you understand and discover your purpose, because you're not just fighting that grizzly bear just for the sake of it. You know, you're not just getting tore up and shredded and mauled by that grizzly bear and there's no reason behind it. There's a reason, there's a purpose. This is why you are continuing to fight while others have long since surrendered. That grizzly bear being that struggle in that area or those multiple areas of life that you still get up and fight against. Even when there's no physical evidence that you're going to ever overcome that grizzly bear. You've been saying you was going to stop committing crime. You've been saying you was going to lose weight. You've been saying that you was going to start that new company. You've been saying you was going to get out of that toxic relationship. You've been saying you're going to start treating people better or whatever, whatever. And it hasn't been easy, but you haven't surrendered. He's with you, and there's a purpose for it. According to my beliefs and the teachings of this ministry, the more and more you begin to realize your power, then he starts to trickle those releases into your life about what it's all about. Why are you going through that? Why are you still fighting? Why is the grizzly bear? Why is the fire that consumed everybody else has not consumed you? Why? There's a purpose. My particular purpose is to give back and to help those who are hurting because of all the hurt that I have inflicted upon others and all the hurt that others have inflicted upon me. That's my purpose. Thank you for all the love and support, your time, your attention, all the things you do to give back to this ministry, liking, sharing, subscribing, leaving comments, investigating, utilizing the services, making monetary donations, any and every ounce of love and support that you pour back into this ministry. I'm grateful for it, and it helps me fulfill my purpose. Definitely reach out if there's anything that this ministry or that I can do to help you realize your power and discover your purpose. Pardon me. Now, today's message, guys, we're going to be talking about something that it's important that you get. It's important that you realize. It's important that you understand. And that is, it's not all in your head. It's not. This energy, this very ancient, this very rare and powerful, very sacred energy that you carry, it's opened your eyes to so many different truths, so many different views and perspectives about people, about yourself, about the government, the world we live in, about our friends, relationships, society at large. It's opened your eyes. This awakening is a real thing. And it's not, it's a difference between being informed and being enlightened. This true awakening is enlightened you. It's in you, the light is in you, enlightened. And that enlightened mindset, that enlightened spirit, that enlightened aura and energy that's so sacred, that can only come from on high, it's opened your eyes to all these different things in terms of truths, reality, lies, fabrications, again, about all kinds of people and all kinds of things. To some of you, it may be more geared in one or more areas, and in others, it may be more geared in terms of those awakening to those truths in different areas of life. We all are different puzzles, different pieces to the same puzzle in his kingdom. But the awakening itself is very brutal. It can be very challenging. It can be very lonely. And yes, it can be very confusing. Today's message is about encouraging you to realize that in spite of all of that, and despite all of that, keep moving on in faith, keep hoping on in love, keep trusting the process and realizing that it's not all in your head. I know it doesn't line up with your mom, and doesn't line up with your mom, with what your mom and your dad said. Doesn't line up with what you've read in books. Doesn't line up with what your friends and most people think. It doesn't line up with what your pastors, imams, and ministers, and teachers, and spiritual gurus think. It doesn't line up. In vogue culture, in vogue society. But that don't make it any less true. Your awakening is real. It's not in your head. When you come across these truths, whether it's got something to do with that religion that you are committed to, that you love, that you honor, that you practice, that you respect, that you promote, whether it's got something to do with yourself, whether it's got something to do with your government, the political system, something to do with your spouse, your kids. When He, the universal He, reveals to you that it's a truth, then you have to accept that and run with that. Gone are the days when you are trying to make it all make sense. You're trying to find out the logic, the reason, the rationale, the practicality of it all. Faith doesn't always make sense, and sense doesn't always make faith. If you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. If that was the case, then make it make sense how a man could go out and walk on water. Make it make sense how 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, could be thrown in a fiery furnace and not be consumed by that fire. Make it make sense that a man anointed with the Holy Spirit, same Holy Spirit that's operating with you, can go out with his bare hands and only the jawbone of a donkey slew over 1,000 men that were back in the day with the first example of, special forces, if you will, Green Beret, Navy SEALs, well armed, well taught, very tough, shields, swords, helmets. He didn't have no shield, no sword, or no helmet. He just had a jawbone. Make it make sense. Faith doesn't always make sense, and sense doesn't always make faith. And some of the downloads that the universe has been giving you, it doesn't make sense, but it's not in your head. It's the truth. Stop looking for the evidence. Stop looking for your friends and your family or your pastors or whoever's validation or confirmation. You have the greatest force, the greatest power in the universe operating within you. And when He confirms with you that it's true, then it's true. Now you got friends, you got family members, you got the in vogue society. Again, some of your clergymen at church, mosque, temple, synagogue, cathedral, whatever, telling you that it's all in your head. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. Some people, because it doesn't make sense to them, that's the only way they can categorize it and make sense of it, is to say, hey, look, it's all in your head. Other people who, for whatever malevolent reason, they are totally aware of the fact that you've been switched on. Your awakening has been activated. You're operating on a whole different frequency. But they don't want you to know that because it makes them feel less than. It makes them feel insufficient, inadequate, whatever. And so when you go to them to talk to them, or sometimes even in a casual conversation, whether it's friends, family, or a total stranger, and you just, you're just having a moment of sincerity, you'll hear these people. They'll say, you know what, sometimes, it's just all in our head. Sometimes, and they'll try to hint to you that it's just all in your head. Like, don't overthink it, don't overprocess it. Well, you're not overthinking it. You're not overprocessing it. And it's not just all in your head. Now, don't get me wrong. Because of the awakening and the downloads of spiritual information that this thing that we call infinite intelligence gives us, there is an element that it's in our heads. But it's not in the sense that, it's just all in your head. It's just you're overthinking it. It's just excuse me, it's just made up nonsense that you over processing, you're reaching. Not in your head like that. You don't have to be a Harvard grad oceanographer. You don't have to be a Caltech grad engineer to figure this out. You just have to have just a smidgen of self-awareness and social consciousness. And that will let you know, yeah, it's in your head. You can see, you can sense, you can feel, you can decode, you can research, you can discern that mankind has lost his way and that the path that mankind is on is unsustainable. And from an intellectual sense, it's in your head. And everybody knows this, whether they have turned a blind eye to it, whether they, for whatever reason, are choosing to manipulate that information in terms of what they know and how they can try to use that to manipulate others who maybe don't have an understanding. We all know. We can look at humanity. We can look at the plight that all of the social structures, the political upheavals, the race tensions, the wars, the fear-mongering, we can look at all of that and intellectually process it. And so, yes, it's in our head, but the battle is in the head in terms of you being able to accept those truths, not run from those truths. But even though the battle is in the head, the battle is for your heart, trying to get you to become sad, fall into despair, become bitter, retaliatory, to give up hope. So yes, there is some truth when we say it's in the head. How could it not be? But it's not just in the dismissive sense that says it's all in your head. No, you're not imagining it. You can see things that most people can't see or most people just refuse to see. It's a scary world out there. When you look at how, man, people are just horribly mean-spirited and seemingly infinitely disingenuous and filled with jealousy and the need, the obsession for validation. And you can process this intellectually. But for those who refuse to acknowledge and process what's going on intellectually, then these are the ones who, their heart, as the good book says, the love of most people will wax cold. To be in denial, to be dismissive of the truth about what's taking place, and the mind trying to figure out how to process it until the mind just says, well, it's too confusing, it's too challenging, it's too lonely out there. I'm the only one trying to make sense of it all. So I'll just turn a blind eye. Well, to turn a blind eye is to be consumed by it. So if you're out there, as I begin to wrap this up, if you're out there and it's not adding up, it's not evening out, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to. It's not your job. It's not my job to make it make sense. It's my job to trust and to believe. It's your job to trust and to believe. Yes, all of those people, if that's what he has downloaded to you, If it's all of those people in that workplace and they all are suffering that spiritual infestation, that soul, the soul is polluted. If everybody in that single workplace, then that's what it is. It's everybody in that single workplace. If it's everybody except for that guy, that girl, and that guy, but everybody else, then that's what it is. It's not in your head. You're not over processing anything. They would love to get you to think, you know what, just relax. Just take it easy. Just calm down. Yeah, I am relaxed. I am taking it easy. I am calmed down. That's why I'm able to perceive what he downloads for me to perceive. Let me see where I'm at, guys. I'm at 26 minutes. Let's go a couple minutes longer. Don't let people convince you that it's in your head. If he is telling you that person is snaking on you, that person is disingenuous, that person is a fake, that person is manipulative, don't let everybody convince you that it's all in your head and now you got to fit in, you got to socialize, you got to engage with the people during times and moments that you don't need to engage with them. There's nothing that has to be said. There's nothing that has to be done. If we're on the job and we got to unite on a certain project, okay, I get that. But you don't have to engage with people. As long as you're not bothering anybody in terms of you being aggressive, violating anybody's personal space, disrespecting people, you have every right to live your life in the way that he downloads for you to live. You don't have to smile when you don't feel like smiling. You don't have to engage with people when he's just told you that what association does light have with darkness. It's not all in your head. They want you to think, see, look at us all over here. We're just smiling. We're just having fun. And you're over there. It's all in your head. Come on, join us. Join us. And his holy revelation is saying, man, you can read that with your eyes closed. If they're all smiling depressives, if they're all snakes, if they're all operating from jealousy or envy and manipulative and deceptive means, you don't have to engage with them. And it's not just in your head. Because there is those people, as I wrap this up, there are those people, there are those situations, circumstances, and geographical locations that when you go in, you don't feel that tightness, you don't feel that tension, you don't feel that disingenuous energy. So if you didn't feel it over there, or if you felt it just a little bit over there, don't think that because you didn't feel it over there, or you just felt it a little bit over there, or you can be comfortable with that because now you're not being paranoid. Now you're not being disingenuous. You don't have it all in your head. If that's what you read over there by way of his Holy Spirit, then that's what's true over there. But if you go over here or over there the next time, whatever the case may be, and it's all off, everybody's off, then everybody's off. It's not just in your head. Reach out to this ministry if I can be of assistance and support to you guys. That's what this ministry is all about. Let's close this out by talking a little bit about the ministry and the services that are provided by this ministry in order to help you on your journey. As mentioned earlier, guys, this ministry takes a holistic mind, body, and spirit approach to health and wellness. The services that are and that's merged and balanced and synthesized with integrated living. We all know what that means. That's, hey, you take all these truths, the ugly ones, the beautiful ones, the ones that hurt, the ones you're going to use, the ones you're never going to use. You have that knowledge for if and when you need to call on it. If and when he calls you to call on it, you have that because you've integrated it. You haven't turned a blind eye. You haven't played dumb. You haven't numbed out to any of it. Integrated living. Now, the services that are provided by this ministry, again, to help you on your journey, consist of youth and young adult mentoring and counseling, philosophical counseling, clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices, and of course the good old-fashioned ISSA certified fitness training. Please go to the website at mountfitnessmbs.com to get an idea of my experience and expertise when it comes to physical fitness training, diet, nutrition, and all that good stuff. And for all the other services that I mentioned, please hit me up by way of the email link that I'll leave down in the description box. I'm looking forward to sharing with you the details about all of the different services, what they consist of, how they're implemented, and if you inform me that you are calling because you follow the ministry right here online, you're a supporter of the ministry and all that good stuff, then there's no strings attached. I'd love to schedule you for your initial consultation and evaluation in any or all of the service areas. This is what I got for you guys. Again, thank you so very much for tuning in. If you'd like to give back to this ministry, here's your chance. If you haven't already, please hit the like, share, the subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and the bell icon. These are ways that you can help amplify this ministry, help grow this ministry, so this ministry can become available to help even more people who are hurting and need to hear these kinds of messages. This is what I got for you guys. I want to thank you so very much for all the love and support. If you'd like to make a monetary donation to show your thanks, express your generosity, the Cash App link is down in the description box. But if you don't do anything else, and I know the Holy Spirit is calling you to do much, much more than this, so don't procrastinate, guys. You know, procrastination is a coffin where progress goes to rot. So if it's a monetary donation, if it's hitting the like, if it's hitting the subscribe, if you aren't already subscribed, if it's leaving a comment, investigating and or utilizing the services, whatever the case may be, don't procrastinate. Get her done, guys. He's calling you to. And as I was about to say, last but certainly not least, guys, if you don't do anything else, if you absolutely don't do anything else, hit that share button. Hit the share button, guys. Others need to hear this message. If it nourished you, and I'm faithfully confident that it did, or else you wouldn't even be still watching right now. If it nourished you, then give it the opportunity to nourish someone else. Hit the share button if you don't do anything else. And of course, anything else that the Holy Spirit would have you do, I definitely thank you. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you so very much for all the love and support. I want to encourage you one last time in terms of today's message. Hey, listen, it's not in your head. It's not all in your head. I don't care if you've been with that person for 50 years. I don't care if you've been with that person for 150 years. If the Holy Spirit start revealing to you that they are cloak and daggering on you, if the Holy Spirit reveals to you that it's not you being paranoid, it's not you over-processing anything, that it's the truth, then whatever that truth is, I don't care who that person is. Men lie, women lie, unfortunately children lie, but energy doesn't lie. And so when that Holy Spirit reveals to you that the energy is off about that person, that investment, that situation, that doctor, that friend, parent, spouse, whatever, the energy is off, it's not in your head. The energy is off. Take the necessary steps that the universe would cause you to take in order to make sure that you move accordingly after having embraced that truth. Reach out again to this ministry, guys, if there's any way that I can be of assistance to you. This is what I got for you guys. I love you all again. Thanks you for all the love and support. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Yes, I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and yes, I will holla back. Peace.